Hello, everybody. It's Joan. I was just reading over my book, You Get to Choose You, the Best You, that I wrote and published. I, I published it a couple years ago in 2023, and it is available on Amazon. But as I'm reading through it, I'm reminded of a really cool chapter that I put in last minute, which was triggers. And back when I was writing this book, and I was almost finished it, and then this situation came up, and I realized how important it is to be aware of our triggers. We don't realize well, I didn't realize what a trigger was until I started doing um, my own self healing, my own self trying to remember who I was, or um, getting rid of programs, and like healing myself and growing and learning, and I realized that triggers are a big part of who we are, who we create ourselves to be, and we think things are the way they're supposed to be, and so we get annoyed and triggered, and in fact, everything is just us looking outwards instead of looking inwards. Even triggers, we're we're not even aware of our triggers, so they just happen. So we just burst out, and once we realize, and then we feel guilty because we burst out whatever, right? And maybe when we did that, then somebody decided they no longer wanted to be with us. Like it ends up in different situations, and we become somebody that we think we're supposed to be, because we want people to like us, and we want people to be with us, and we don't want to be alone, and like all these programs that we've created without realizing we created, because either we watch somebody else be like that, or it's just like and it became a habit, right? So triggers become a habit. And the way to learn, what your triggers are and how to be able to express them without going blah, yelling, screaming, being totally upset. You can still be, you could still not like something without allowing it to trigger you, and um, creating a reaction instead of being in control of yourself. The only thing you have control over is yourself, and being aware of what your triggers are and how to be able to express them without, or not express them, because you get to a point where you're able to control your reactions and your actions, and you're able to control them because you're aware of yourself. If something's triggering you on the outside, it's definitely something going on in the inside. So go within and look at yourself. Like I said, when I was writing this book, I didn't even know that things triggered me. I mean, uh, I knew that certain things, like abuse, I don't like abuse in any form, shape, or whatever. Being mean to other people, it's a trigger for me. Even if you're joking, it's such a trigger for me. And I had to go, I'm in control of me. I can't control anybody else. Now, don't get me wrong, like if I witnessed somebody that was being abused, of course I would step up and say, hey, I'd like to help. But you can't control whether or not they're going to accept your help. There's some people who don't want to help, or don't want your help or anybody's help. The situation that they're in, it's something that they're comfortable with, and no matter how much you try to get them away, or try to like let them know, that this is, including myself. Like, I was in not very healthy relationships, many of them, and that doesn't sound good, but not just romantic relationships. I allowed people to treat me poorly a lot just so that they would like me. I went through a whole phase of that was what I was supposed to be doing. In our 20s, we accept so much from other people because we want to be liked. Their opinion of us matters. Why, I don't know. So we go through all these crazy situations just because we think that's important. And then, in our 30s, we smarten up a little bit, just a little. And the older we get, the more we realize that it's not that important to have people like you. It's more important to like yourself. It really is so important. I wish somebody would tell me that a long time ago. But again, would I have listened? I don't know. But we all get to choose who we want to be, and you have no control over somebody else. They have to choose to like themselves. They have to choose for themselves. So we have to be aware of our triggers, and we have to be aware of what it is that we have to be aware of our triggers. We have to be aware of how we react with our triggers. So like I said, everybody has triggers. So like, renting a house and having people come to our house and because they're wanting to buy it, or the owners are doing an inspection or anything like that would trigger me before, right? Somebody parking in front of my house, or even a game I was playing, right? And somebody playing a game with me who would give away spoilers of the game or movie or whatever. And it would be like triggering, right? Everybody's heard of road rage, those are triggers, right? We all have different triggers. Maybe it's how our kids are being treated by other people, like we all have these triggers, but we don't know how to, we don't know, first of all, we don't know how, we don't know that we are creating them, and we don't know how to handle them, especially if we allow ourselves to not be aware of ourselves. If you are not aware of you, you're not going to be aware of your triggers. You're not going to be aware of how you're acting with your triggers. You're not going to be aware of what's going on inside you because you're busy looking on the outside of you. But the minute you start realizing that you are responsible for you, then you'll start going inside more often. So if there's a trigger, instead of going blah, 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 you'll be going, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh, I'm triggered. Why am I triggered? What's going on? And you realize that you can handle it differently. So instead of expressing yourself when you're triggered and annoyed, you take a minute, maybe you go outside, maybe you go for a walk, maybe you do some push-ups, maybe you meditate, maybe you, whatever it is, maybe you go into a shower, soak in a tub or whatever. Get your thoughts together, right? Take time, go inside, figure out what's going on. And even just sitting in silence for a few minutes to allow yourself to calm down. That way you can think about like what's going on. Why is this bothering you? And then realizing, well, first of all, usually it's because we have no control over the situation. We can see the situation. We can see the better way to do things, but other people don't want to do it that way. Now we're triggered. So go inside yourself, figure it out, and create something better for yourself. You get to choose who you want to be. You get to choose in every moment who you want to be. A trigger is not who you are. It's just something on the outside that's affecting you on the inside. And once you realize that you get to change and choose that, you get to change it, you get to decide different, you get to um, create a better environment for yourself on the inside. Can't control anybody else, just you. And you get to allow that trigger, calm yourself down and either express to the other person your thoughts, your um, your ideas. But if they're not listening or they don't care, and they're still going to be whoever they want to be, then you get to go, okay, then I get to reevaluate how I'm going to connect with this person. And that goes for everybody, right? So then maybe you just stop talking about that subject. Maybe you stop playing that game with that person. Maybe you, whatever, but you don't allow it to take control of you. You now know that you take control of your triggers. It's all up to you. It always has been. We just were never taught that. So we get to choose all of it. And it's all about us. It begins with us, it ends with us. So instead of absorbing all the stuff from a trigger, you're going to observe how this is the trigger. You're going to observe the situation. You're going to change how you react to it, how you act around it. You're going to just observe it instead of absorbing it. You're not going to, no longer are you going to take it personally and create so much drama for yourself. You're just going to observe what's going on inside, what's happening on the outside. And you're going to allow it to just go and no longer worry about it. It's not easy. It's practice, it's programming. And I can't say it's not easy, because when you're more aware of yourself and who you really want to be, and you work on yourself on a regular basis, daily, all day long, you're working on yourself, you're realizing who you want to be, then it gets easier and easier. But when it's at the beginning and you're learning all these things, it can take some time. So don't beat yourself up about it. Keep working on you, because you are worth it. So one thing we were never taught young is that we get to choose who we want to be in every moment, whether that is looking at the negative in life, or whether it's looking at the positive in life, whether it's an in-between, it doesn't matter. We get to choose who we want to be. And learning how to control our triggers, our actions, our reactions, that's 100% on us. Just take a moment. When you're triggered, take a moment and ask yourself, and this is a big one, ask yourself, first of all, is it worth it? Is this trigger worth it? Is me getting upset worth it? Is me being irate worth it? Like, there's so many, you can handle it in a different way without draining your own energy. It's all up to you. You choose you, the best you. Make it a wonderful day, everybody.